Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in again to another edition of the Currency Matrix tutorial. What we're going to review today is how to navigate through MetaTrader 4 once you've installed the Currency Matrix template. Alright, as you see here, we're going to dive right in. All we have here is the monthly chart of the cryptocurrency. Okay, we have all the data from the time crypto was established here on Bitcoin till now. All right. Now, using this data, the first thing I look at is all-time highs. Okay. Again, this is the monthly chart, the largest chart that you can see on MetaTrader 4. I always start there, and I find the base. Okay. As we see, we open here, so I can pretty much put the base there. All right. If I want to do the next best base based on this situation, since we know it was straight uphill, we can put a base here. All right. Now, with that base, you see how this number over here is 3481? Okay, we're going to round that. All right. So I'm going to round this. Since it's below 5, we're going to round it to 3,000 flat. All right. Now, as you see, 3,000 flat was way down here. So we don't want to put it there. Let's put it at 3,400 flat. All right. Now, see how it's right below? All right. So right at the point. All right. Now let's do the top side. Up here, 19,737. If we round that high number to the top side as well, we would round it to 19,700. All right. I use whole numbers when using my zones in my top-down analysis. Okay, those are round whole numbers. All right. As far as this one down here, I'm going to delete that one. Don't need that one. Okay. So I'm going to work with this data in here. Now, the next thing I do is I take my horizontal tool up here. All right. This is my horizontal tool. All right. And the first thing I'm going to do, or the next thing I'm going to do, is highlight the wick to the body of the candle that formed those peaks. All right. Now that is my zone. Now your zone might be a different color. You can change it in here once it pops up. All right. Now I'm going to use a lighter shade, something like that, so we can still see it. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. Now notice how the bottom has a real thin zone. Okay. Here. All right. So let's use that whole body there, and we'll see how that zone forms there. You guys see that? All right, again, this is the monthly time frame. We go from monthly, and we go down to the weekly. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, notice how here those zones are now looking a little different than they did here on the monthly. So here on the weekly, we're going to do the same thing. Same zone up here on the high side. Wick to body. And down on the low side, we're going to do the same thing. Here, we can lock off this level right there. All right, notice how it's at 4259. So what we're going to do is we're going to round that to a whole number, 4250. All right, we're going to do the same thing to the top of that range here, 13,727. We're going to round that to 13,700. All right. Now we're also going to hit those ranges or those body zones, wick to the body. Same thing here, wick to the body. Okay, so in essence, now we have a good zone in here. Gotta move that back. 4250. All right. If I was to map this out long term, this is the overall lifespan of Bitcoin so far. This is the movement of data. All right. So from looking at this range, we can see that price is now looking to come back up here to this zone. Agreed? So based on long term on here on the weekly chart, we know that we are in a bullish situation. Okay. Based on the RSI, we are also in a bullish situation because we are on top of 50. We are over the 50 zone. Okay. As far as the RSI down here is concerned, the RSI measures momentum. So when when momentum is above 50, we're in a bullish momentum or a bullish trending market. When price is below 50, we are in a bearish trending market. Okay. So when we are in the bullish above 50, we are looking for new highs. We are looking for price action up here on the top with the candlesticks to be seeking new higher highs. Okay. So if we look to the left, we can see that the previous highs are right here. All right. High, high. There's the trend. All right. It has been broken right here. So now we're seeking a higher high. All right. Again, down here in momentum, above 50, we are seeking higher highs. Below 50, we are seeking lower lows. Each time frame is going to look different, so you have to utilize each one and match them up. But as we see for this particular example, the weekly time frame is showing the weekly chart seeking higher highs. All right. So now we come down to the daily. Here in the daily, we can see that price has now broke that trend line that we drew on the weekly. If we come in here, zoom in a little bit, we can see how price is forming another bullish candle here. All right, here we see that candle forming. This is the trend line that we drew on the weekly here, being broken on the daily here. As we see, it's very bullish. And we can anticipate crypto to extend bullish even more throughout the rest of the day based on this daily chart. We come into the 4-hour, we can see that breakthrough, but we're not going to skip any steps. So we've done our markups here on the weekly. Now let's do our markup here on the daily. Based on those zones that we have drawn, we can now draw more zones based on our daily charts. Okay, and we'll use 1, 2, and 3. These the three most recent swings here on this time frame, on the daily time frame. We'll highlight this one here. All right, again, we'll look at the value 6599. We'll round that to 6600. All right, we'll go to this peak here. You see that at 1004. We'll put that at 10003. 0 flat. We'll zoom in so we can see a little bit more data. Now, as far as this first side here, we'll go ahead and take care of this range here. All right. And for the top side, we'll take care of this range here. All right. Now, based on the daily time frame, you can see that we're now entering a zone where we're potentially expecting a breakout here. All right. If price comes back up to these levels and proceeds to form us a higher high, which we are in the momentum area above 50 to form higher highs. If price action in fact does show us a higher high, we're expecting a breakout. If the daily breaks out through this zone here, we know the next weekly zone is here from 11 to 13.7. We know that based on the weekly time frame. If price breaks through that, we're going higher. So there's our daily analysis, okay? Now we can come to our 4-hour. Now if we zoom out in here, look at the 4-hour, we can see how price is definitely showing us a trending momentum upwards. We can see definitely that we're trending upwards here. All right? Based on where we're at now, we are at a potential bounce on the trend line. Here, we can see that. If we zoom in just to see where we're at with this data, and we zoom just to see enough, we can mark a zone here at 8128, and we'll round that to 813. Notice how as we get closer into time and narrow timing down to more real-time data, we can use more, we can round the numbers higher or closer. All right, again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark our zones. With the body. Body. Notice whenever I have a railroad at my peak that I draw my zone on, I use that whole candle. I just enclose the whole body. Okay, so now based on Bitcoin, we see that price is pushing upwards here on the 4-hour chart. All right. If we come back here and even use this zone right here, and we'll put that at 94.20. On this zone here, if we take this, we can see that we're actually breaking out through that zone now to the upside. All right. So if we come in here to the 1-hour, this is now what we see. Remember, I stated that once you're on the 1-hour chart, you begin to see the session. Okay, so in real-time data on a regular day basis, right now we are in the London session. As you see, the volume is pushing us up, and we should be expecting a breakout here soon. This is the 1-hour chart. This is the chart that I take my entries on. Okay, now notice why I would take this entry. Now let's take a step back. I would apply my Fibonacci in this situation, and it would go somewhere like this. And I will touch base on my Fibonacci in another video. So my Fibonacci would now look like this. I have my stop loss, my new swing, my entry points. I'm here on the 1-hour, so I'm already actually in Bitcoin. We took a signal on this earlier in the week, so we're already actually in this trade, and we're taking this up to the actual weekly 13.7. We're taking this all the way up past and beyond for expectation of long-term breakout for the cryptocurrency market. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use the template top-down analysis, just from a standpoint of higher time frames to your lower time frames to identifying your entry. For more technical, in-depth analysis, tune into the specific video that you need, or the requested information can be delivered upon request.